Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Chipperini from Chipper's Island Adventures, and today I'm going to run my generator through its 2-hour monthly test and let it do its thing while putting a load on it with my Truma heater. So while I'm doing that, I figured what I'd do for this video is show every mod that I've done from front to back, and I have a fair amount of them. I may do 2 videos where you have part 1 and part 2. We'll see how this goes. And some of these aren't quite mods, they're kind of like add-ons. I wouldn't really call them a mod, but hey, it changed my van a little bit, so I'm going to add it in there. So stick around and stay tuned. Oh, she's purring like a kitten. I have my Truma set to mix 2, which gives me 1700 watts of power being used, which goes ahead and works the generator pretty well while I'm doing this testing. So as I said, I'm going to do all the mods on my rig, and I'm going to start from the outside, from the front to the back. But the first mod is under the hood. So my first mod is this tray that I put in to collect the water with a drain hose and take it out of the engine compartment. Now the problem is that this cowl, which is this part here over the windshield, leaks. And it's still a work in progress. As you can see, I got a little bit of water here, but it's gotten a lot better. I put sealant up in here along the edge of the cowl, and I'm probably still getting some water. But this was one of my first mods right here. I do want to point out that that is a 3D printed tray. If you can find a 3D printer, or maybe find these trays online, they're worth putting in. At least it keeps some of the water off your engine. Mod number 2 is right back here. And that is on the shore power. The locking ring that comes with your shore power cable, you have to rotate a number of times, but check this out. It's locked on. Come on in. I do like 1/8 of a turn, not even, and it's off. Go back on. Line up the notch. This is the big notch. Line it up. And what is that, a 1/16 of a turn? That's it. That is a nice little device, that locking ring. And I just did a video on that locking ring recently. You can look that up. Yeah. Another mod I got was this open glass door stop. Open Glass being the company that makes it. And it's a nice little door stop that goes on the track of your sliding door. Because of that, I can go ahead and just open up the door halfway. It doesn't have to be opened up all the way. And it's a nice little item, it's cheap, and it works great. Some people have complained that when it gets really hot out, it slides a little bit. Well, just go ahead, take it off, and reapply with some 3M tape. It's okay. So let's go inside and get warm. Now that I'm inside, I'm going to show you a number of things, but the first one I want to show you is actually an outdoor one, but you really can't see it because it is under the rig, and that is my Mopica propane tank sensor. And I have the app up right here, and you can see this is a nice little app, and it's showing that my tank level is 79%. If I go ahead and click on it, I believe it gives a bigger picture. Yeah, so 79 to 80% is absolutely full. And this Mopica tank sensor is awesome, very accurate. Even though my levels on the one place is showing full as well, I prefer to use the Mopica because I know it's pretty much right on. But I will be comparing them as we go along. Now, going to the front of the vehicle, one of the most expensive mods I've done is this stereo unit right here. This is an Alpine unit. I'll go ahead and turn on the accessory so you can see. It's a beautiful screen, nice and large, much better than the one that came with this Travato.
Motion detection
and
recording.
Now that I have on the CarPlay, you can see it's a beautiful display. I love this unit, and not only that, but I also had them install a dash cam, which is right here under the mirror. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this thing here, and that is an Alpine as well, so it works with this beautifully. If I go to Alpine, we can see the dash cam, and right now it's showing the front, and you can see there's also a picture of me right here because I have an indoor one here. And the reason why it's there is simply because I couldn't install it in the rear, so we just put it up there. That's the rear part of the dash cam, but pretty cool. Another thing I might want to point out regarding the stereo is that I did have a subwoofer installed as well. And what I did is I had that set right in back of the driver's seat, and it works pretty well right there. Does a good job. Very happy with the stereo. Now, the other mod I had done up front is this solar panel. And this solar panel I just leave on the dash when the van is sitting. And as you saw when I put up the battery levels, that battery level was fine. And this van has been sitting for at least 5 days without moving, solely going off that solar trickle charger. It's a great add-on to your vehicle. And this solar panel is connected directly to the battery right here in the front. You barely know the wires are there. I'm also able to disconnect it when not using it. Now, another little mod or addition I've done up front, actually it's two mods. One is this nice steering wheel cover. And I'll tell you, this is great. It gives you a lot better grip edge, and it's a nice look. This gray little trim on the steering wheel more or less matches the interior of the vehicle. So that's a nice little add-on. And I got this visor compartment. I'm not sure what you call this, but if I open it up, you can see, oh boy, there's a number of things in here. And one of them is my America the Beautiful National Park Access Pass. So I have that. I keep that in there along with my proof of veteran status, things like that. But nice little add-on. Look, the color is perfect for the visor. I don't even know it's there. And my wife gave me this little angel for traveling, so I clipped that up there. Pretty cool. And then I also keep my harvest hose card up here, etc. But there'll be more coming in. I just got this recently, so I think that's a nice little add-on. So my next mod inside is this paper towel holder. It's a ratcheting paper towel holder, so it doesn't tend to pour off the paper towels as you're driving. It more or less stays in place. Once in a while I'll come up and it might be like that, but otherwise it's pretty good. Now, one criticism I've had is that I have it over the stove. Well, you know what? I'm careful about that, and I keep an eye on it. I didn't want it over here behind the faucet. So for me, this works out pretty well over here. The next mod would be on this Ram tray. And what I did is I cut off the top part so it gives me better access getting in and out of this tray. And that was just a quick cut. I did it with a Dremel tool. I cut it flat to these lines, and it took me like 5 minutes. Hung it back up, and it's great. So that is the next mod. So let's move over to here. On the back of my seat, I put in this big mole pack, and it's really nice. You can see I have something open here because I have my screwdriver that I keep in that pocket. It also has a first aid kit, which I stocked up pretty well, and it has other compartments on board. And you know, I just put stuff in there. Like, I keep a battery for my rigid tools in here. Like I said, this is a quick disconnect first aid kit, and that works great. And once again, I did a full-blown video on this. You're free to watch that at your convenience. Other things I've done are adding labels to all the lights. You can see I got my outside and my front light. Also over here, I put for the cab light, which is right here, I put a label there. Back here toward the rear of the rig, you can see ceiling lights, rear and front, either side. But I put labels everywhere for that. The one place I haven't put labels, and I'm going to do it, is next to the Truma. And I want to put down EL1, EL2, Mix 1, Mix 2. And that's coming. It's definitely worthwhile to label your lights so you don't get them mixed up. And I also have them on the back of the rig near the Nautilus, or on the Nautilus panel. Anywhere where I might have a question about what this light does, I have a label. And these were made using the Brother label maker, of which I have one. Next is another recent mod I did, which is on the fridge. And all it is the magnets underneath the freezer. So I put magnets on top here, as you can see, and then pieces of metal underneath the freezer tray, which are all held on using 3M tape. And that magnet setup is awesome. It keeps that lid closed on the freezer and keeps the cold air in there. The real test will come next summer. Of course, it's winter right now, but I believe the real test will come next summer. But it works great. And it's just a small, you know, a couple bucks for the magnets. They're easy to put in. And once again, I do have a video on that. One of the first mods I ever did in here was replacing the kitchen under the cabinet lights. I didn't like those dome lights, which are kind of like these, but they had a button. I replaced them with these, which do have a button as well, but you press it once, the white light comes on. You press it twice, the blue light comes on. If you hold it while the white light is on, it'll dim down or get brighter, depending on what you like. And there is a memory on these lights, I believe. Yes, watch, I'll brighten it up. And there you go. So these are nice lights. I put one there and I put one over here, replacing both the existing lights that were there. And I will tell you, that was a very easy mod to do. It's only a couple wires. And if you get lost with the wires, meaning somehow you can't get the wire, like you lose it, these cabinets, the shelves in here are very easy to take up, and then you can see all the wiring. So don't be afraid to do that light mod. It's if you wish to do it. It's really a good little mod. Now, another mod that I did when I initially got the van was this vent cover from Van Made Gear. I love this thing. I love the fact it doesn't take much to fold it back, and there it is, and then you can use the vent. One of the nice pluses of this vent cover is that it holds the heat in, so the heat isn't going out here. There's always leakage in the vent, so. But if you wish to get one of these, it also helps block out the morning light. It's installed with magnets. You have to pull down the trim and then put the magnets on the other side of the trim and align them with the magnets inside the vent cover. And that is, as I said, from Van Made Gear. Nice little addition to the van right there. So my next mod is the water filter bypass. Now I'm not going to show you it, and that was one of the early mods I did as well, because I don't feel the necessity for having a water filter on board when I've already filtered my water coming in, and then I've also sanitized my tank. So I don't really drink the water out of the faucet anyway. I use it for bathing and washing dishes and all that good stuff. But generally for drinking water, I use bottled water. But that was a nice early mod, and it's pretty easy to do. Again, I have a video on that. And my most recent mod is this Lagoon table mount that I put right here in the middle of the passenger side bed, which gives me a little bit more leeway when using the table in the middle. So that's not a bad little mod, having that table so I can have it in the middle of the room, particularly if I'm watching TV or something like that. So that's a nice little mod I did there. I know this next one isn't exactly a mod, it's kind of an add-on. I like it anyway, and that is putting these phone holders with mag mounts on the back of the rig. I have one on each side right above the bed. They work great, as you can see. Pretty cool, huh? So that sets right up there, no problem. And once again, the other side works fabulous. Keeps the phone out of the way. It's right there. You can plug it in to here, and I think it's a nice little add-on, very cheap, and I don't know, I just like it. And once again, you can see my labels for the lights. Now let's go into the bathroom. This is another recent install I did with this new light. Before, the light was much smaller. Now this has two lights on it. One is white, one is blue. And on the white light, you can make it brighter or dim it. So that's a nice little add-on. Very easy install, and I love the fact it has a blue night light on it, which will match the blue lights of the bed lights and the blue lights under my kitchen cabinets. Pretty cool, very easy install. I'm going to brighten this up because we're going to be talking about the bathroom for a second. Now another thing I did in here is I got a new shower head. I didn't like the stock Oxygenics. This shower head has a bit more spray on it, and I find it a lot better. I wasn't particularly happy with the shutoff that came with it, so I put another shutoff on it right here, as you can see, and this one works great. I think this is a must-have on any RV shower. So there again is another one of my mods, actually two mods. One, a new shower head, and two, the shutoff, and it works great. And if you see down here, you can see I have a toilet brush sitting right next to the toilet, and that toilet brush simply mounts to the back wall with a suction cup. So I'll show you that in a minute. Now, one of the things when you're in an RV, you may end up with one or many remotes. Right off the bat, you're gonna have three remotes. One for the TV, one for the soundbar, and one for the fan, right? Now the fan has its own remote holder, and I haven't even mounted that yet. I'm going to do it this year. I'm always trying to figure out where to best put it. But I will say this, as far as the TV remotes, what I did is I mounted them right here, and they're just held on with Velcro. This is my Apple TV remote, and it just sticks up there with Velcro. And it's out of the way. You don't even know they're there, and it works great. So that's a nice little way to keep your remotes organized and in a good spot. So here's a better angle for that brush, and it says right there, Boom Joy. That's the maker. You can find those on Amazon, and that's a nice little toilet brush that stays right there, and it's a perfect fit. Also, here in the bathroom, this is one of my biggest mods, is this L-track organization area that works great. And I keep all my stuff back here. This is one of these is for my shore power, but it keeps everything perfectly organized. I love it. You gotta have this. This should come with a Winnebago Travato 59K, because this wall is perfectly set up for this. And as you can see, once again, I have my name labels here, and of course a GSDL label that says the Greg Schultz dump light. Okay, so I think that's it for all my mods. You know, like I said, some of them are very simple. Some of them are kind of like an add-on, like the steering wheel cover, but some of them are actual real mods. So, i.e. that Lagoon table mount. It's not that hard to do. It is a little bit involved, but anybody can do it. But I also have some future mods that I'm definitely going to do. And one of them is this faucet. I do not like this faucet. You can see there's like rust here. And I've been meaning to pull it apart. I know there's a little set screw under here. Then the whole actual spout comes out. But I'm going to get a new faucet and mount it in. Something with maybe a little bit of a spray on it. So that's coming in the spring. Another mod I'd like to do is a spare tire carrier on the back. And I haven't decided yet how I want to do that. Do I want to do it mounted on the ladder, or a ladder, say from Rover Vans or one of the other companies? Or do I want to do the spare tire carrier just as a spare tire carrier mounted on the door? There's things to think about, because what I need to do is figure out how important a ladder is for up top. Do I need a ladder that I'm able to move around and get up on the sides, or do I just need a ladder from the rear? These are things to consider, because I would love to get like one of the ladders that the spare tire mounts on the ladder, and it's done. It mounts on the door hinges and it works great. So the other thing is, if that's the case and I have a permanently mounted ladder on that door that I can't move to the side, if I ever have an issue where I need to get up on the side of the van, how do I address that? And I'm actually thinking about carrying one of those compact ladders that extend, and I'll be researching that. I'd like to get the lightest, most compact one I can. I don't need much. So that's something I'll be researching over these months during the winter. And I got to tell you, that generator is working great right now. It's really nice and warm in here. Outside's a little bit frosty. It was frosty in here when I first came in. So I think that's it for now. I can't think of anything else. I hope you enjoyed this video. Everybody loves mods, don't we? We all just love mods. I love doing little things to my van that seem to make a big difference. Whether it's the door stop, that door stop gets used all the time, and it's such a little item that really means nothing, and yet I can open up the door halfway, drop the bug curtain and the bug screen. So that's just like a nice little item that works great. And along with a lot of other stuff, whether it's a phone holder or the Lagoon mount, or maybe even just trimming this Ram track tray, things just make sense sometimes. So feel free to look around in my videos, because a lot of these mods are in the videos. And if you like this video, feel free to hit that like button. And by the way, speaking of subscriptions, I'm always trying to get more subscribers. YouTube likes that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe to my channel. All the best to all, and happy adventuring.